Hello everyone and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and like to welcome you guys to episode 399. Today is Saturday, February 5th, 2022, and I'm glad you could join me today. We have a special guest. This is Daniel Patrick. He is very sleepy. This is also take two because there was a blue screen of death right about when I was done. So, whatever. There's not too much that I can do about it, so you can see all of my bounty hanging out right there. So, this may be the case where there is slightly less exposition. I'm almost done with my coffee too, so it's not like it's the end of the world. What's likely going to happen is my alarm will go off and it will be feeding time. So, whatever. So, Mr. Daniel arrived 2 weeks early. I think he could see or at least sense that I was on started my maternity leave 2 weeks before the due date. It was like, oh good, you're less stressed now. It's time to come. So it was waking up at 4 a.m. with my first contraction, or maybe there were contractions going on while I was sleeping, who knows, to before 8 a.m. having a baby on my lap, which is super fast labor. Apparently I was a little bit legendary because I was very calm for being 7 centimeters dilated. Then, or what was it? One of the nurses who ended up taking care of me later was like, yeah, I was in triage with you. It was like, oh, I think I remember. It's like so would it be? Luckily, it was not long. It was not painful. It was just very distracting. I think that's the best way to describe it. And whenever someone would come by and check on my pain, it'd be like, oops, doom. Oh no, oh no. We'll just keep rubbing his back. So whenever a nurse would come by and check on my pain, it was like, I've had bicycle rides that felt worse than this. I feel regret about saying this now because this past week has been a little bit more awkward than the time in the hospital, but whatever. Would it be? It's very strange just because whatever you have like one set of worries and stressors, and then you end up trading them all out suddenly. Not that this is super duper stressful, it's just, what would it be? Transitioning from a place where you can sort of segment your day into thirds and you know each third is going to be a little bit different, to whatever, feeling like you're on 3 shifts and there's just brief moments of excitement and action followed by waiting for the next thing to occur. Or would it be? So I have my commemorative cup of drinking, and so it's sort of like, whatever, I have every 8 hours I need to make sure I drink one of them, and it's sort of like we're going from first shift to second shift to third shift, and I managed to get it all down. So what would it be? But what was hilarious was the case where I'm like, feeling, what would it be? Distracted and I guess uncomfortable. Not like in an ow way, but more just like in a, what in the world's going on, hey? Directing my husband to pack the bag because that was one of the things I was going to do when I woke up on Saturday. Write thank you cards, clean up the house a little bit. So, what would it be? And now we're just in like a different sort of mode where it's like, has he eaten in the last 3 hours? How much has he eaten? Has he eaten enough? You doing a good job? So, or whatever. Like, it's probably just a close enough sort of situation. But it's just a very different mode of existence for sure. Would it be? And this is sort of like the intermediate time, so it'd be the case where coincidentally my father-in-law was in town and delivered the car. So that was super nice that he was around to help out. And he ended up leaving on Tuesday. And then my mom isn't coming to help out until, as planned, until Valentine's Day. So what would it be? This is sort of the intermediate time where my spouse is still off, but we'll be going back to work in the basement on Monday. So then that will be the case for them. I'll be the sole protector for a decent portion of the time. And then I think there are going to end up needing to be some negotiations about like what nighttime shift we take. Because one thing that we have found is that we're both really deep sleepers. So there have been times where he has woken me up and I think I'm doing something and I'm not. So we'll work it out. But yeah, no, so it should be interesting times. But yeah, for what it be now, it's just the case where it's sort of working through all the milestones. So one of them was getting his blood sugar up so we could leave the hospital. Then the other thing was making sure the jaundice was under control, which we managed to do by mass transport. So feed him lots, poops lots, gets all the yellow off it. And now we're just at the feedlots so that he's back at birth weight. So supposedly one should be back at birth weight in 2 weeks. Don't think we're there right now. We're trying. So what would it be? It's trying to keep everything well regulated and that sort of thing. So, or keeping to a schedule is good for both of us. So not too crazy there. On the knitting front, I've started nothing new, and that is totally fine. I think I was contemplating beginning the second sleeve on my Donner, but at least for the time being, I think I'll save that until I get some home admin done. What would it be? We'll save it for the time after I finish writing thank you notes for the baby shower. So I'm just working on the body again, and it was a little salty. There were times when I would come back to the room and be like, oh no, that was definitely not what I was supposed to be doing. But yeah, the sleeve, I don't recall whether or not I finished the sleeve and talked about it. That might have been a Friday the 21st sort of activity, who knows. But I'm just sort of working away at the body again. It's just like a little bit salty. Salty may not even be the right word. It's more, I'm working on the pattern row and whatever, that requires a lot more thought. But we'll get it worked out in the end. I was amused that Polyevsky India was also finished an Elizabeth Daughtry pattern, and I was like, yeah, no, she does good work. And then this is my hand spun. It is more of a red purple in real life, but we know my webcam denies the existence of red purples. with just that little bit of contrast. So this was a sample for an eventual fleece spin. Would it be figuring out how this works and if I like it? I do like it. So there's that going for it, but I'll probably just keep practicing at this and sort of refining everything because I find it to be very fascinating. Being able to sort of create that rich color that you can't get by dyeing yarn. You have to dye fiber. So dye fiber, make bats or comb top or what have you. So we'll get it figured out. So that hasn't gotten as much work as, say, for example, the spinning has. So I'd started plying this before he came, and the project was just sort of sitting there waiting for me. So I finished plying this week. So I got about I got 360.5 yards out of 2 ounces on this one. And then I was able to ply this guy as well. I think I finished both singles and then I started plying. And this one is more like 321 yards out of 2 ounces. So a little bit of a discrepancy in weight, but probably not the end of the world. So this is Nest Rambouillet in the Floret colorway. I bought 8 ounces of 1 ounce samples in shades ranging, or 3 shades of pink, white, a gold, a light green, and a dark green. And so this one right here is the more variegated one, and it has no light green and 2 yellow. And this gradient has 2 light green and no yellow. I just repeat myself. 2 yellow, no light green. And this guy here was no yellow here. And so this one I made as a gradient across the drum, and this one was more experimental, so I had a layer of dark green on the bottom, and then I sort of maybe did a gradient. But I don't think it actually turned out the way I was intending it to. That's fine. I sent Jen a gradient that had all 8 colors across it, and then all 8 layers. And she's actually almost done knitting her project, which is super, super exciting. So she's more than halfway. So she's making a cowl with it. And so she knit the whole gradient, and, well, actually she's not making a cowl, she's making a scarf now. And so she knit the whole gradient across, and then she's going to have 2 ends with the more variegated, layered bat one. So I saw it last night, it was turning out really cute. And based on her experience, it's the case where what I make with this will likely be something where I use one color than the other color. I'm thinking I save the gradient for like the edging, and then have the variegated be sort of like that plain body of a shawl or something like that. Based on yardage, like we're light fingering, lace weight sort of territory. I haven't washed it yet, so that might also poof and get me more in the fingering, more in the or what do we, more in the light fingering category. Let's be honest. If we think about relative shrinkage and that sort of thing, I bet we're just moving in more towards light fingering than lace weight. So, both of them are chain plied. It should be interesting to see how it ends up knitting up, because you end up, by the nature of the chain ply, you end up with sections where you have like a color as 1 ply, and then that color shows up as 2 of the plies. Excuse me. So it'll be interesting to see how it ends up. I was sort of curious how it would end up looking, because I haven't played a ton with that style of bat before. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to spin along with her. It was a good time to be able to work on the same project. Obviously, these are not my usual colors. They're probably closer. If they were a little more saturated, they'd be closer to my mom's colors. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. as you do. But definitely tried out spinning with him in the carrier, and that worked out. So I was able to get a couple rounds of chain ply and wearing him, and be like, okay, that's good. So it's seeming, it's seeming like I will be able to reintegrate knitting and spinning in my life without too much pain. It's just a matter of whatever, not being in like a super exhausted mind fuzz state. So, or would it be? It's hard to tell. And it may be that podcasting ends up being a little bit sporadic. There was no reason for me to record on Saturday aside from I finished some stuff and it seemed like a good time. Maybe you should have been writing thank you cards. Whatever. We'll get it done. But yeah, no, so it may be the case where the next time I end up recording is in the, I don't know, it could be next week, it could be in the in between rounds of parents, that sort of thing. So this room is a little bit chaotic right now, so it would be nice if I decrease the chaos in this room, because this is also the guest room. We shall see. But yeah, no, what would be, it's just funny to think about what would be like. I haven't changed, I'm just really tired. And I'm whatever, I have different worries at the moment, so, and that is fine. I don't know whether or not he'll end up being a fixture on the podcast, being one like this or what. I don't know. There are options. The hope was to just have him chill out in the baby bassinet, but he was a little bit fussy, and I was just like, okay, whatever, we'll do it this way, it'll be fine. And I would be done by now if I had a blue screen of death, so, oh well. We'll make it work out. So, I don't know, it'll be sporadic for a while, and that's fine. It isn't like, would it be? Like, I have been able to go to most of my usual groups. I skipped out on the Monday group because Omicron, and it didn't seem like anyone was posting, so that is fine. I sort of assumed that wouldn't be out in the world until after that had subsided somewhat. And then the other thing is just sort of figuring out the cadence of things. Would it be just because, like, my day is now divided into 3-hour blocks of time in which I'm spending approximately an hour to hour and a half tending to Mr. Daniel's specific needs. So it's very exciting when it just takes an hour. So we'll get it worked out. But I don't know. It should be fine. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.